Oh, g'day guys, how you going? Thanks for tuning in for another episode, I suppose you would call it that. Today I thought we would talk about where to find your dream car. There's many different avenues, different ways of doing things, but if you're on the hunt for some precious iron, there's a few tips and tricks that I thought I'd share with you. Let's talk about Gumtree. Gumtree, there's a low barrier to entry with listing your car. So oftentimes you'll find perhaps poor examples of your dream car. Let's talk about old Holden and Fords. You'll sort from low to high price or high to low if your budget permits, and you'll have a look. Generally, you will look far and wide, especially with classic cars. It's sometimes very difficult to find the particular car, so you cast your net as wide as you can, and then after that you sort of then whittle it down to perhaps your area. But you do find people at both ends of the scale because it's a low barrier to entry. You may have people with a very, very low price with a poor example, but then you've also got the dreamers. If you're looking for your dream car, a potential avenue is posting a wanted to buy ad on Gumtree. It's easy to do, it's free, and there's a lot of people that have these particular cars, but they're not ready to let them go yet, or they're feeling a little bit opportunistic about the whole thing. The issue with that is that they may respond to you but give you an unrealistic price, or a very poor example of that car, but you definitely can get the ball rolling and you can sort of negotiate with them. So that's a really good avenue to find your dream car. The most popular avenue for finding your dream car is Facebook Marketplace. You can go on the marketplace itself, search for your car in the selected radius, perhaps where you live or maybe further out in the countryside. You can also join Facebook groups and find other like-minded enthusiasts. The funniest part about that is that when people do post on groups, other people can see it and they can comment. So if somebody posts a car for an unrealistic price, oftentimes it can be very, very entertaining seeing the comments because that person, the seller, will get shut down. Carsales is the bread and butter, or maybe it used to be. There's a higher barrier to entry because you actually have to pay some money to post your car. They'll request a number of different images, and people selling their car will often take pride in what they're selling. You won't find too many project cars, or if you do, you might find that they're unrealistically priced. And that also goes for cars listed on Carsales. Oftentimes, I look at them, and if I actually had purchased a car off Carsales, I'd only have one old school car because that's all I'd ever be able to afford. So I think it's up to you meeting with the seller and negotiating the price. I think some of the pricing there is a little bit opportunistic, and maybe there's bargains to be found elsewhere. But if you don't want to muck around, that could be a way to go. Dealers also post on Carsales as well. So, there's opportunities there, if you've got the dollars for it. But to find a project car, maybe it's not the way, but to find your dream car, it definitely helps with a curated list of cars. Another avenue that you've got is eBay. Now, a lot of you guys would use eBay to buy your car parts. I know I certainly do. I put it all in the cart, and then I get shocked with how much it would actually cost me if I bought everything, and then I start removing things from cart. So you might type in things like project cars or a Tirana or a Holden HQ or whatever it is, and then oftentimes you'll find a very, very pristine condition car being sold through a muscle car dealer or something to that effect. And then as you go along, you might find country cars listed with no reserve, and you can really, really pick up a bargain. There's plenty of guys that picked up project cars or their dream car from eBay, but buyer beware. Next, you've got magazines. You've got magazines such as Just Car and Auto Trader, and there's a bunch of other ones that still exist. Perhaps the Trading Post. I know a lot of old school blokes found their first car through there, or their dream car for not much money. But these days, Just Car magazine has gone digital, and they're doing quite well at it. But there's some people that like to sit down with a coffee, like me, and browse through the classified pages. You have a lot of dealers posting their ads on there. Some of them are very expensive, Concourse Edition, XY GTs and the like. I think that there are, and correct me if I'm wrong, leave a comment below, but there are a lot of project cars there that are listed that come from the countryside. Now, if you think about it, perhaps maybe these guys out in the countryside also have more cars floating around. So, you know, you could roll the dice, give somebody a call. If they're a Valiant kind of guy, chances are they'll probably have a couple more Valiants lying in the back paddock or hopefully under a shed somewhere. So that's also a good way. I would say one of the best ways to find your dream car would be through word of mouth, through the local bloke in town. And how you sort of establish a bit of rapport is, if you're in the car scene, you probably know friends of friends that have certain things, and what you do is you ask. Those that ask will receive. And so basically what you would do is, especially if you like traveling, if you've got a job that's a little bit transient or you like moving around, what you would do is you would ask around, maybe at the local coffee shop. You go, well, who's the Holden man or who's the Ford man in town? And oftentimes, if it's a small country town, people will know. And then thus you'll get a lead, and then you'll call somebody, and that's a cold lead, and then, you know, oh, okay, try again. And then you'll find out who's who in the zoo. Who's got the HK Monaro sitting in the back shed that they haven't done anything for 20 years. And if you're the right type of person with the right personality and you show the cash at the right time, perhaps maybe you'll be the one that owns it. Last but not least, you've got dealers. Now, dealers exist to make money. Obviously, that's their livelihood. And of course, that they're enthusiasts themselves as well. I'm talking more on the high-end side of things. There are plenty of muscle car garages that have cars on consignment, XY GTs, GTH shows, blah, blah, blah. But hear me, either you've got to have a pretty penny behind you or you've just won the lotto, because these cars can be very, very expensive. But if you're sick and tired of mucking around and you've always wanted that car, that would be the way to go. Okay, because not only that, you get warranty, you have recourse to go back to somebody if something goes wrong. But just know with these type of muscle cars, you know, things do go wrong. Maintenance is something that you need to consider. So if you're looking for something that's old school and you're willing to part with a bit of cash, you need to know what you're looking for, because guys have been caught before buying a GT or whatever. Maybe it's not actually a GT, maybe it's been rebodied, maybe it's full of bog. And the list continues. So buyer beware, you really need to know what you're looking at. So just be careful when you're looking for your dream car, but most importantly, you need to have some fun with it. So if you like this video, don't forget to comment and subscribe. Again, I've said it a million times, comment, because it's the best part of doing these videos. Otherwise, I just wouldn't bother. Take it easy, guys. Cheers.